All right, we're going to work on some green screen editing. Again, I'm going to be a little more detailed with this video. So you're going to open a green screen shot of your partner again, get a new partner, ask them what they want, because we're working toward having sophomores coming in to visit us, and we want to get rid of the green screen. So I'm going to cut Wyatt. The best way to get all the green is you're going to go to select color range. I have most of it selected, but you're going to hit the plus sign. See if you can get a little bit more of that. So it looks like I have pretty much all the green. Hit OK. You'll see the dancing ant. You're going to hit select, inverse it. So you just cut out Wyatt. Hit this symbol right here, layer mask, and it will cut all the mask. It will mask it, so it's kind of like it is a clipping mask. So it's not always gonna, it doesn't disappear, so you could bring it back if you need to. We'll click on the clipping mask, select and mask again. This is where we can re-find it. It is not certain numbers you have to push. I just kind of do whatever looks right. You can kind of see it to smooth it out and feather it. Hit OK. Now you should have a pretty good smooth background. I want Wyatt to become a clown. I already kind of found this clown. So you can copy and paste it directly into that layer. Make sure you're on that layer. You're going to hit Command C to copy it. Go back to the normal layer and hit Command V. Just hit OK. So it's pretty small compared, so it might be a little blurry, but this is just for practice. So I'm, without holding Shift, Command T, and I'm going to size up the picture I want him to be. I'm going to lower the opacity so I can kind of distort it. I think I want to distort the clown versus Wyatt. The main thing is, trying to get those eyes to line up. Let me zoom in a little bit more to get things to fit. If you want it to fit a little bit more, you can go to Edit, Transform, and you can warp it to fit. So like getting these ears to fit where his ears are. Maybe even trying to figure out where the chin is. Now it has a very high forehead with his, well, I guess that's the forehead, isn't it? We want it to line up. You can hit OK. And then you can bump up the opacity all the way. Or bump down, whichever. I would then choose to put a clipping mask on that because we're going to get rid of some of this mask to erase out what we don't want. So we'll bump that up. So you get your B for brush tool. Get a clipping mask. Black takes away. White brings back. And we're just going to take away some of the eye. Make sure the opacity's all the way up with the flow, so that Wyatt's eye comes through there. So it doesn't quite line up. So we're going to go back to this layer, hit Command T, go to Edit, Transform, Warp again. Let's get that eye to line up a little bit more. Erase a little bit more, get the brush tool. So this is something you really could play with if you wanted to. So his eye came through. But this is his nose. All the way down here. What I'm gonna do is just make it all his face so you can see it, but keep the forehead. So so it looks more like him. I think I'm just, so it's really on you what you play with. Hit Command T on that and maybe adjust it down just a little bit so you can see his face in there. So that's probably the best way to do it, to put the whole face in there. And then I'm going to my brush tool again, and I'm just going to lower that opacity a little bit, bump this up a little bit, so that way the skin kind of blends in a little bit more with him. Now, looking pretty good, but besides he's not white, so some other things I want you to play with is the adjustment layers. So all kinds of stuff right in here. So we're going to try to maybe do color balance, and we only want it to affect his face. So we put the layer, color balance layer, above the layer that you want it to affect. And if there's layers below that, you would just create a clipping mask, so this little arrow would pop up and it would only affect that layer only. And then you could just kind of play with, so we want him to be kind of white because it's what it is. So then we'll just add another layer where we can do, I don't know if I want hue saturation, but we can bump them up a little bit more. Make them a little less saturated. So anyway, so that's kind of what I did to play with them like that. You could also crop the picture so you don't see the rest of everything else in there. And if you have dimensions here, you could just hit clear, so it keeps the same ratio. Just cutting some of it off. So then now you have a picture of Wyatt photoshopped in using layer mask and adjustment layer. See, this hue saturation is not in there. So just to get it underneath the arrow, you would do that. So again, we're going to practice working on this using clipping mask and editing colors and layer mask, because that's what we're going to be doing with the 10th graders that are coming in.